What's going on, everyone? Welcome back for some trade recaps, and welcome back to the channel. So, just gonna go over my trades from CDXC today, and talk about GME, AMC, and PLTR a little bit. So, basically, today CDXC ran all the way up to 23s pre-market. This thing's been running the last couple days, so it started around back in the $8-9 range and ran all the way up to $25 in a couple days there. So basically we were just looking for some profit taking once the kind of move started to fade and people started to realize it wasn't going to push higher. People were going to start taking their profits. So that's kind of what happened right at the open. You saw this rejection and then this reclaim, and if this thing started to go higher, I would have not really liked it, but because it faded and then couldn't break above the VWAP here, it looked like a decent opportunity to try and get short. So you can see it's still trying to, it still keeps going up into the VWAP and then fading. And so I was just basically catching that move. You could have caught the same move there, right? Shorting it into the 1820, 1830s and then covering in 1750s, right? So here I was just starting to load up as it came up into VWAP. So I was getting in shares, got to full size, basically having like 1805, 1806 as my average price, and then catching the fade down, covering half, and then covering a quarter. So now I have quarter size, and then I add again when it kind of goes against me, knowing that my move is still to catch a move lower. But at the same time, I feel like this fill here was kind of a bad. I mark it because I felt like it was going to break, so I mark it sold, and that was a bad idea. So this market short here, I got filled. It was like 1755 or something when I hit it, and I got filled at 1746. So almost 10 cents of slippage, which is not good. So that kind of made me kind of like realize, okay, my average is not as good. I'm still like my average is still good. I'm still up on the trade, but if it goes against me a lot, it might turn to a loser. So I wanted to get in to bring my average up. So it popped, and I got in again on the 1770s, and I covered all of it as it flushed back down to 1750, knowing that 1750 was starting to act as real tough support. So if it couldn't break through this level of 1750, if it couldn't break that support, then and we got a fake out when I shorted. We got a fake out right here when it broke to 45, and I basically got covered so I shorted it at the low. So that was a really bad fill. But you can see this candle at 1755 was at the top, and that's when I shorted it. I hit the button and it filled me all the way at the low of the candle. So that was, and now you can see it ripping. And this is why I didn't want to hold, right? Because I realized that it was starting to make a low at 1850, and if it held that level, it could rip and then hold above the VWAP, and now this thing could run again, right? That's why I just wanted to take a quick short here for profit taking for people that were realizing, hey, this thing might sell off. Now I just want to hop out. And that's kind of why you get these fades, and it really is just people looking to sell their shares when they realize that it might go down, and so they want to lock in their profits, right? People that got in here are wanting to lock in their profits now, because if it drops back down, they don't want to end up, if they're up 30-40%, they don't want to end up being only up 10% or being, break even if it kind of flushes, because this thing has a pretty big range, right? So anyway, that was my short on CDXC. Nothing too exciting. Decent trades, decent profit, decent green day. But other than that, I was looking to short GME, but I really couldn't. I really I like shorting into the VWAP. So as it kind of pushes up, I like shorting. But it just isn't giving us these big moves. It's really just consolidating in this 120 area. It's been doing it for like the past hour. So there's really nothing, unless you were shorting it in the 150s, there's really nothing to do with it. Maybe a long, if it holds this and breaks above the VWAP, there might be a long. But if we're looking for a short, we want to see it break the lows and test 100. So that's, yeah. But I got a lunch today, so I'm not really able to trade too much. So that's why I wanted to keep it short, short and simple. You see CDXC starting to reverse again as it pushed back up into that VWAP. It's starting to reverse again. Remember I said that 1830s. You can short in the 1830s, and then it'll almost always push back down to the 1750s. At least it has been for the past hour. So if this, you know, breaks lower, then you got a nice short. But if it holds this level and pushes higher, then you have a potential for a nice long in CDXC. Yeah, so that's that. That's GME and PLTR. So PLTR. So guys, as I said to you yesterday, I added yesterday. So basically added at 20 in the 23s yesterday. Told you I was going to look to add more. So right now it's showing a little bit more weakness. So I like adding in the 22s. And remember I told you that 2280, 2275 is going to be your level of support. So it kind of broke that level. But at the same time, it's kind of holding. So, you know, obviously you want to be able to give it a few dollars. So if it breaks, you want to kind of watch it. And like I said, I'm in this for the long term. So either way, I'm holding and I'm going to look to add if it breaks down lower. But you got to understand that if it does break down lower, you have support here at 23 and then you have support at like 15. So I don't want to be adding if it breaks 22. I added at 23 and I'll hold. But I don't really want to be holding if it breaks 22, because then we're looking at a move down to 20 and maybe even like 18, and then I'll add in those areas. So that's my plan, and obviously hold for the long term. Now you're seeing it starting to reverse off these lows. I told you that 22.75 was a good area of support, solid area of support. You have a lot of different times when it's hit this level and showed you that it's willing to hold. So you have a lot of support in the 23, 22.75 area. And you have a lot of confirmation that that's going to hold. So like I said, if it does break, then you're going to look at a move lower. Either way, I'm looking to add. But, you know, I'd rather add if it moves lower, or I'll just, you know, if it moves back up to 26 or 27, I'll add again closer to my average price. So that's that. And, yeah, my average right now is in the 26s. So obviously, like, I'm down a little bit, but like I said, I'm looking to keep adding to this because I see Palantir as being way undervalued at this point. The SPY has been selling off, so if the market continues to sell off, then we're going to see a continued move lower, because as you see Palantir's chart, now look at the SPY, and they're moving almost identical, right? So SPY broke that 380 level, which was a big area of support, so that's gone. So, you know, it tested that a couple days. It tested it yesterday. It tested it a couple days ago, and now it's broken. So that's, you know, kind of bearish signs in the market. But overall, we'll see. I think this week we've had kind of a bear week, so it's been kind of a red week, and you have to have those, you know, not only so you can get discounts on the stocks you like, but also so that stocks can come back down to earth. Sometimes these things go to the moon without having corrections, but there needs to be corrections. There needs to be times when the market kind of comes back to fair value, and then you can have rips up again to prices that are no longer, you know, sustainable. But that's why you want to be getting in at those value prices rather than getting in at those unsustainable prices, right? You don't want to be getting in at 50 for a PLTR. You want to be getting in at 22, 25, you know, 23, where those levels of support towards the downside, or getting in at 20 if it goes lower. But with the SPY starting to reverse, I think you're going to see PLTR start to reverse, so we could see a move back to 25. So that's my predictions. That's my thoughts for those stocks. That's my trades for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to like, subscribe, come back, and we'll hang out, ask questions. Feel free to interact. I'm always here. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.